This is episode number 207 of the Reno Slant, and the fun of this year just continues. Tough weekend for Nate Cox.
Touchdown. Welcome to the Reno Slant, the weekly Nevada sports podcast. Unbelievable. Home to an award-winning sports writer, his Nevada alum brother, exclusive interviews, and occasionally aggressive banter about Nevada football, Nevada basketball, and pretty much everything else Nevada. Well, everything except the departure of a certain basketball coach. We don't talk about that. Here are your bro hosts, Adam and Nathan Schaub.
On this week's episode of the Reno Slant, it's our first real show of the summer. It means we're starting with Aces Report number 9. We'll share our biggest takeaway from the series versus Tacoma last week. The Aces won their final 3 to salvage a split. Weird series. Now 3.5 games back of Vegas. The Aviators have won 10 straight. And I don't know if it's an accident that the team named the Aviators goes on a run the same time frame that Top Gun comes out. We'll have to maybe dig into that a little bit more. Then we'll share one thing to know about this week's series. Reno back on the road at Sacramento. We'll share our biggest concern for the series, and then obviously we'll get to predictions. We thought this bummer/disaster of an athletic year was done, and we were looking forward now to next year, and we thought wrong. Tough news over the weekend. Nate Cox was arrested for a DUI late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. Potential week 1 starting quarterback. And we'll certainly share a couple quick takeaways as to what this could mean for Nate, what this could mean for the QB competition heading into fall camp. We will then move over to slants on social. Only 3 questions. It really is summer already. We got a sex ed question from Fake Matt Mummy. That'll be fun. Could attorneys start paying for college student athlete DUIs and sketchy attorney NIL deals? We'll get into that a little bit. We'll do weekend plans, and as always, we will get out of here with Rain and Reno. This is going to be a shorter episode. Most of them will be closer to probably whatever this show ends up being over the course of the summer. Before we get to any of that, thank you to all of you who continue to support this podcast. Every single one of you are helping us pursue our goal of getting to 1,000 downloads per week. Had a pretty good week last week, did 339 downloads. We appreciate you all. If you are not already, please make sure you are subscribed to the podcast and that you follow us on social media. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at The Reno Slant. You can also check us out online at therenoslant.com. If you really want to help us get closer to that goal of 1,000 downloads per week, please tell any friends of yours who follow Nevada sports. We'll be doing Nevada football preview stuff before anyone can believe it. Please encourage them to check out the podcast. That would help us tremendously. Your referral means way more than anything we can say in the podcast. Put it on social media. Thank you in advance. We did not get an iTunes 5-star review of the week again. We're back on the schneid. I think that's 5 or 6 weeks. So I think next week we're up to $6 in a Reno Slant t-shirt. So if I read your review in this spot on next week's show, you're getting a free Reno Slant t-shirt, and I'm going to Venmo you 6 big ones. We are recording, I'd say, a little bit later than normal on Wednesday. It is 7:17 Pacific, which means it is halftime of Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Warriors down 12, and Adam is locked in. He's been locked in all NBA playoffs. We're recording at halftime because he couldn't take his eyes off of the game.
Yeah. Andre Iguodala just having himself a night.
I don't think he's played in this game.
I don't even know if he's still on the Warriors. That was meant to be a joke.
He's on the Warriors. I don't think he's played this game. He was hurt for some of the playoffs. It feels almost weird that he's still in the NBA. Draymond Green is approaching that level too. Feels like he's been around forever.
What's the series split right now? I know the Celtics took game 1.
It's 1-1.
Oh, that's lame.
Early swing game. Just kidding. Andre Iguodala, I think he checked in for the final 15 seconds as a defensive sub.
That's big playing time.
There you go. You're all over it.
It's worth the millions. I told you Iguodala was having himself a night.
Doesn't have a single statistic.
Well, he'll get
Technically
there.
Hasn't played a minute.
Give the man some time. He's got to warm up a little bit. All right, now you're just looking at box score of the. NBA
I really am. As a Golden State future ticket holder, I'm not loving what I'm seeing in this series. I think Boston's a better team.
Yeah, you're just not a good bettor. It's just simple as that.
I chose not to hedge, and I'm feeling not so great about it.
What's the number one rule of sports betting, Nathan?
Don't do it. You're going to lose money.
Well, yeah, that's rule 1B. Rule 1A is pick the winning team. So you screwed up there. You messed up. Rule 1A, you skipped right to 1B. Rookie mistake in the gambling sports world.
When's the last time you placed a sports bet?
Ooh, man, it has been a minute. I would guess probably back in probably during either college football or the NFL, somewhere in there.
You've changed, dude. You've
Well,
changed.
you moved to Dayton. Sports books now are a little bit further. I haven't found my gambling community here yet. I know they're out here. I'll find them.
What's that casino on the right when you're driving into Dayton, Slot World or whatever?
Yeah, there's Slot World down in Carson. Then there's like what is it called? Station or something? There's like a Station casino out here. And then there's I should really know my casinos a little bit better than I do. There's the Gold Ranch, and then there's also what is this one called? There's another casino right here. Okay.
He's looking at his phone, everyone. So he's
Yeah.
not, this is not off the top.
Gold Ranch and then Pioneer Crossing. Those are the two out here. I've heard of Gold Ranch a little sketchy. Haven't stepped foot in there yet, but I heard Pioneer Crossing's nice.
I'm sure it's extravagant.
Nice.
Pioneer Crossing in Dayton,
Nice.
Nevada.
Nice as in every time I leave Smith's, they always have a new sign out there, new specials. And I have yet to try the specials, even the old specials. So one day I'll try one of the specials.
You got to stick your head in there and at least see if they have a sports book if you're not going to download one of the apps.
Oh, I refuse. I refuse to download one of the apps. Refuse.
I have the Golden State Future on that Stations app, and if that doesn't cash, I'll be back down to 0, and I'll probably load it back up once football season comes around. But I won't do it for the summer.
Can you load it? Do you have to go in to deposit money, or can you do it straight from your card?
When I signed up, I think they said there's a way you can link it to your bank account, and I said I don't even want to know what to click on to make that happen because I do not trust myself.
Oh, I had when we were living off James Lane, I had the William Hill app, and you used to be able to just link your card to it, and I was betting soccer from Italian soccer early in the morning, and so I lost a lot of money. But they know what they're doing.
Yeah. They absolutely know what they're doing. When we were driving around Carson on Sunday, was it Sunday? We were down there. Went to squeeze in. The Nugget had a on one of their signs to get people to come in. All it said was "Become a millionaire." That's all it said.
It's pretty
How
easy.
many people do you think go through that and actually think, "Yes, today's my day. I'm going to become a millionaire at the Nugget in Carson City, Nevada"?
I bet you there's at least one. And they probably lose $50 and they don't become a millionaire. Just hope it's not their last 50.
Probably do not. No, probably not that either. Sign still says it, so they think, "Oh, not today. Tomorrow's my day." If the sign says "Become a millionaire tomorrow," I'm back.
Yeah, otherwise it's false advertising. They can get sued. You can become a millionaire, just not very likely.
Not very likely. Okay. Let's get into this here. We'll start with the Aces report, number 9 on the year. Weird series versus Tacoma last week. We talked a lot about how much Tacoma has been struggling. Series was in Reno. We felt good about Reno winning another series. You actually called for a split because Reno dropped game 1. Reno went on to drop game 2 and game 3, and then won the final 3 to make you look smart. Split the 6-game series. Biggest takeaway for you?
Well, it's a good rally by the team. Very pleased with their efforts going back in the second half of the series, but it is like what you just said. It's an interesting series. I mean, you go and you win at Oklahoma City, and then writings on the wall, Northern Nevada sports just this year, they were just going to find a way to split or potentially lose. It looked like they were going to lose the series easily against the struggling Tacoma Rainiers. And you lose, my big one is on Thursday. You lose the Thirsty Thursday game 7-0. I mean, if you're going to lose a couple games, yeah, but that's unacceptable. You always want them to join in on the fun, get a couple of those $2 Coors Lights, but I think they joined in on the fun a little too early, and that's why they put up a nice goose egg. And I mean, the pitching staff, not too bad. You only give up 7 runs in AAA. We'll take that, but you got to partake in the fun after the game. Don't start before. Don't learn from a player like me. You don't start before.
given how the first 3 games went, best case scenario here, obviously, Tacoma was limping into that series. Reno was playing well. Well, you don't love the split here. You take it after dropping the first 3. Made a ton about Tacoma struggles and Reno's success in 1-run games. So, of course, Reno drops the first 2 games both by 1 run. Baseball's just that kind of sport. Reno edged Tacoma in total runs in the series, 27-26. Good week for the Arms against Rainier's offense, really not swinging it well this year. Tacoma had an ERA of 6.1 entering. The Aces averaged 4.5 runs per game. So the Arms played well. The Bats did not over that series. Aces now 4-2-3 in their 9 series this year. Haven't lost a series since the first week of May when they dropped 4 of 6 at Round Rock. So certainly playing better. Aces back on the road this week at Sacramento. Opened the series last night, Tuesday, with a convincing 13-4 win. What's one thing to know?
Well, Sacramento, they're pretty much down in the bottom of the barrel with Tacoma, 22-33 on the season. They have the 3rd worst run differential in the entire PCL. Nathan, which 2 teams have worse run differentials?
Tacoma.
Nice. I'll give you a hint. The next one's in the PCL
It's
East.
going to be in the East. It's going to be in the East. I'm trying to remember who the shitty teams are over there. Albuquerque?
Nice, dude. Look at you,
Yeah.
dude. Once it came back to the PCL, you were just locked in. The AAA West just you weren't good for that.
I figured probably the New Mexico team, that they've got kind of a trend going on in that state, and figured that was a safer bet.
New Mexico has just been driving the struggle bus for quite a while, but Sacramento themselves, a couple other stats against teams with records over 500. This is good news for Reno. They are 13-24. Playing at home, negative record, 13-18 at home. Pretty bad as well on the road, 9-15. The run differential, like I said, negative 62. They are just another less than stellar team. Let's put it that way. You could also use the word subpar. But the River Cats just also having a little bit of a rough time, but also goes to no surprise. They are the minor league team of the Giants. And everybody knows where I stand on the Giants. Also just a subpar franchise. So just like the Mariners in Tacoma, you expect these things and to watch it come into fruition and watch it play out in real life. You can't help but, smile at least a little bit.
So many Giant fans are triggered right now by that commentary, especially coming from a Mariners fan.
Quite angry. Mariners fan telling the Giants fan that their organization sucks. That's comedy 101 right there for you.
Giants are 29-25 this year. We got a plus 28 run differential. They're having a good year.
Weak.
The Dodgers are on fire. Padres are on fire. The NL West is stupid.
How are the Diamondbacks doing?
They're falling apart.
Love it.
26-31. They had a brutal stretch in there. Rockies had a brutal stretch in there. Yeah, it's going to be a 3-team race in that division. Mariners, by the way, beat the Astros again today. I think they've won 4 straight series.
Are you back in?
Julio Rodriguez is catching fire. J.P. Crawford, our shortstop, who's not known for offense at all, is batting cleanup right now. Mitch Haniger has been out all year. Jared Kelenic has been so bad he's in Tacoma right now. Robbie Ray, the Cy Young winner last year, has been complete dog shit this year. All this is happening, and the Mariners are trying to stay relevant. Kudos to them. I've been in and out on this team 4 times, and it's not in the middle of June.
How many games back are they? I think the last I looked, they were 11 back.
Of the Astros?
Yeah.
They're not going to catch the Astros, probably. Although they've won 2 straight series against them.
Yeah, so eat those words,
but
please.
You get 3 wild cards this year.
Oh, so
they're
you're
10 games back of the Astros. They're 10 back of the Astros now.
Oh man, you're so back in on that 3rd wild card spot.
3.5 out of the last wild card spot.
You know that they're going to get within reach, and then they're going to collapse at the end. They're going to tear your heart out, and it is
100%.
Yeah, you got to be a closed book, Nathan, to get non-emotional about the Mariners.
Boston's coming to town this weekend, and Boston is currently holding the last wild card spot. Big series, boys.
Oh my gosh! Early June, baseball doesn't get much better.
Oh, we're gonna get swept. All right, looking at Sacramento, we just have this can be tangent city with these shorter episodes. Sacramento, you mentioned limping into this series. River Cats have dropped 8 straight now, if you include Tuesday's 13-4 loss, sitting at 22-33. You mentioned that. Reno's 30-25. Run differentials minus 64 now, 62. I'm including Tuesday's game. I usually don't do that. Second series of the year between these two teams. Reno and Sacramento split 6 games in Reno in mid-April. That was just the second series of the year. Look at some stats. Offensively, Sacramento scores 5.4 runs per game. It's number 7. Bat 252 as a team. It's also number 7. They hit a home run every 24 at bats. It's number 2. Pretty lofty. And strike out 9.8 times per game. It's number 3 in the PCL. On the bump, they got an ERA of 6.04, number 9. They got batting average against of 272. They walk 4.7 guys per 9 innings. That's number 8. And they've allowed 83 bombs. That's number 9. Not particularly impressive offensively, not particularly offensive or impressive on the bump. And that's why you have a team that's lost 8 straight. What's your biggest concern?
Biggest concern is easily David Villar, the third baseman.
Clearly.
151 ABs, Nathan. How many hits does he have this season?
151 ABs. If he's batting 333, would be 50 there. He's probably not. I'll say 50.
He's got 44 hits. Pretty good guess. Yeah. So 44 hits. How many dingers? This is where you got to be careful.
I know you usually have a lot of hits, higher average. You're not going to hit as many bombs. I'll say he's at 8.
16.
Holy cow. 16 and he's hitting for average? How old is this guy?
I don't know, but he is, a dinger almost 1 every 10 ABs. Not bad, especially for AAA. 46 ribbies on this. His name's David Villar.
I'm looking him up right now. It's a 0-0 game right now, game 2 in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, he's the third
baseman.
He's the third baseman.
He's 25.
Okay, so I already feel bad about myself.
He was an 11th round pick in 2018 out of South Florida, by the way.
South Florida? Ooh, now I'm interested.
This guy, this is his first year in AAA. He's going to be in the big soon.
Yeah. He has some pretty good numbers. 33 runs. He's got 2 doubles. He's got a triple. So looking through the stats.
Giants fans, that's a name to know.
Yeah. So normally I don't dive this deep into the roster of the opponent of the opposing AAA team, but once I saw David's numbers, that instantly jumped out to me. I got concerned, and easily that is my biggest concern.
Bats couldn't make much noise last week versus Tacoma pitching staff that is not good. Nice to get 13 up in game 1 in this series. We just haven't seen it all really click yet. The arms were on early, to my surprise, and the bats struggled. Then the arms struggled. Bats picked it up a little bit. Now the arms are better. Bats went quiet last week. So for me, I'll flip it. It's been the arms for me for the last month, and we've seen the staff kind of respond. Now I'll go back to the sticks after an unimpressive week versus Tacoma, and we're seeing, we got 1 hit through 3 innings tonight versus Sacramento, although good to get 13 on the board in game 1. What's your prediction?
I'm going to say Reno takes 4 of 6. Until this team gets a sweep under their belt, it's hard to go much farther than 4.
We haven't seen, I don't think in any of Reno's series yet, they've all been either a 4-2, one team wins 4, or one team wins 3, or they split. So it's either a split or one team wins 4. We haven't seen a 5-1, certainly haven't seen a 6-0 series yet. For all the stats I gave about Sacramento struggling this year, its staff is much better at home. 4.38 ERA. It's the number 3 home ERA in the entire PCL. Reno is 13-11 on the road, now 14-11, while Sac is 13-18 at home. Odd stat here: Reno is 14-5 in day games, 15-20 at night. That's a wild split. And 5 of these 6 games will be night games. I'm going with the split in this series.
Wow. Oh, you dug deep for that stat.
Pretty good one, right?
Yeah, I'd say that's one of your better ones. You should pat yourself on the back for that.
About it.
It's a fresh one.
No way to have some fun with this one. This is a bummer of a story. Do need to comment on this because obviously it made waves over the weekend. We don't know who Nevada's starting quarterback is going to be week 1 in the fall, but one of the names, certainly one of the leading candidates, was Nate Cox. Everyone knows he's our guy. Have a lot of fun pumping him up. Had a lot of fun pumping him up over the course of the last year, and he's going through a tough time right now. Gets arrested for a DUI late Saturday, early Sunday. I think it was like 4:38 when he got booked Sunday morning. Don't know a lot more beyond that, but tough for him because we're talking about on the podcast. We see the picture, gets blasted all over Twitter and social media, and it's just for a athletic year that has been tumultuous to say the least. Hopefully this is the last kind of gut punch, and you obviously feel bad for Nate. So we'll do kind of a couple just initial reactions to this as we've had some time to marinate on this. Biggest kind of, I guess, initial reaction from you?
Well, allegedly. Yes, he was arrested in mugshot, but it's all alleged until it's proven. And I will stand
Fair
by
enough.
that as it's gone down this road. With Nate Cox on the team, I have probably been arguably the biggest Nate Cox fan. I mean, his family, they're in contention for the top supporter, but let's be real. So yeah, that's my first thing. Allegedly, nothing's proven. Everybody gets a mugshot every once in a while. I know Nathan's tinkered and got a couple of them himself. Sometimes things get dropped.
People are
So
going to be Googling all over the place now. Nathan Shout mugshot.
he's got a couple. If you dive deep, you'll find one. But that's the first thing I'm going to say is yes, it was not the news headline we were looking for, and especially in the Northern Nevada world, news travels quick. But I will stand to my defense that it is all alleged and it is all nothing is proven. I'm a innocent until proven guilty type person, but if it comes out that it's true, I will admit that I'm wrong. But I am standing on the alleged trail initially. Let that be known.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one more kick to the balls for the entire sports, for the fan base here. But the biggest concern is about Nate Cox, the person. I can't imagine that feeling for him, getting pulled over, knowing what's going on. And then obviously this past, 4 or 5 days, kind of dealing with the fallout here. Give him so much love on the pod because he's electric at 6'9". They played him all over the place, put him on field goal block last year, and just feel bad for him. Obviously made a terrible decision, and it's a good thing that nobody got hurt, and we'll just kind of see where it goes from here. I mean, Nevada football had a tough disciplinary stretch there for a while, and up to Ken Wilson to kind of right that. And Nate is competing for the starting quarterback job, obviously, and he knows that this can't happen. It can't happen if you're not on the football team, if you're not an athlete. It certainly can't happen if you are an athlete and you're representing the university. You're representing a lot more than you in the name on the back of your jersey, when you just how you carry yourself out in the community. And not a good look for him. Don't think it needs to be a complete indictment of him. Don't think it means everyone needs to give up on him. Everyone makes bad decisions. He's 23 years old, I believe it is. So it's not like he's a freshman in college. You'd think you'd make a little more maturation. Maybe don't make those decisions. Who knows what went into that night and that whole thought process? It doesn't look good for him. And the hope is that he finds a way to rebound from this. This doesn't become the black eye he can't recover from, at least as a student athlete. So thinking about Nate right now. It's the first time that this has happened for him. So this is going to be a misdemeanor charge for him, as you alluded to. We'll see how this plays out in court. Again, this is not a legal podcast, but we'll see what that ultimately looks like for him. He's got some time between now and the season opener, and I don't know if we'll hear anything from Ken Wilson until fall camp, really. And he does the first media availability. Maybe he'll go on NSN once, and they get to ask him about it, how they're going to address it. My guess is they're probably saying we're going to handle it internally, but that will be a storyline now going into fall camp. Nate Cox was going to be a storyline, the starting quarterback job, and now there's just a new wrinkle with it in terms of how the athletic department and how the football team decides to handle this.
Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned he's 23 years old, but we're at the point now where Ubers and Lyfts and all those things are so readily available, especially if you're in college and you don't have the money or whatever. Just if you text a friend that's a real true friend and say, I need $15 for a ride, so that way, I don't get behind my car, or get behind the wheel of my car, and put other people at risk, put yourself at risk. It's just kind of one of those things that, it's really unfortunate that with the resources we have now, with alternatives to driving, it's not like in the old, the before rideshare apps that, you had to hail a cab, or you had to call a cab. It's too readily available. But unfortunately, kind of like what you said, it's a mistake, and it's a fairly large one, but it won't dictate what his character is. And you hope that he can move on from this and learn, and it becomes more of a, I don't know, like you said, a maturity type thing, and he can bounce back. But it's one of those
Yeah.
things that still, I think, he's on a little bit different level. But I think when you see, like, you know, somebody high in the socioeconomic status, whether it's a professional athlete or, politician, famous person, whoever it is, when you see these people get arrested for DUIs, my first question was always like, one, I'm like, don't a lot of these people have drivers? And then two, it's like, you got money for an Uber or a Lyft. I mean, it's not worth the risk. Way too many negatives can happen. It's just, we all know it's not something that should be done. So unfortunate for Nate, but obviously I know you and I are hoping he can recover from it, and just, thank God that nobody was hurt.
Yeah. Well, speaking of famous people, I mean, I just seen this one. I think it was Nancy Pelosi's husband just got one.
Yeah, DUI
You
out in
see
Napa
that?
County. Mm-hmm.
Is that where it was?
Yeah, but I think it got dropped.
Oh, well.
Pays to know someone.
I don't think anyone that the night that they're going out, whatever, says, you know what I'm going to do tonight? I'm going to drink and drive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that. Certainly don't think that was the case here. It's probably out with your friends, and you'd say, "Hey, I got a short distance to go. I'm probably okay." Talk yourself into it, and then here you are. If you look on the field here, Nate, you would think, had the edge to be the starter going into the season. Now, I've certainly shared my thoughts about what I think is going to happen over the course of the year, given that Nate has 1 year of eligibility left, and Shane Illingworth, the Oklahoma State transfer, has 3 years of eligibility left, and Nevada's clearly in a rebuild mode right now. And the fact that Nate already has a little bit more familiarity with the program, obviously you're going to be running a new scheme over the next however many years, so that's going to be part of the transition. It's not like Nate is coming in with an incumbent coaching staff and everything's going to be the exact same. There's going to be some change here, and I do think Ken Wilson, the coach staff, certainly want to see what they have moving forward, right? Knowing that they're playing for year 2 and year 3, and if they'd prefer to see Shane Illingworth early in the year, Nate unfortunately just helped them in making that decision. Right. I mean, you'd think that over the course of the year, maybe Nate starts early and then it works its way over to Shane Illingworth. And if Nate's suspended the first few games and they start giving snaps to Shane, that's going to be even tougher for Nate to get on the field, at least in the QB role. We saw Jay Norvell and staff get creative with him last year and try to use that 6'9" length. So tough for Nate personally, tough for Nate on the football field for certain. And again, I don't know if we'll hear anything about this from Ken Wilson, the coaching staff, this summer. It might be until fall camp where we start really figuring out what disciplinary action, if any, is going to be taken with Nate. That's the first time I think we've had to talk about a student athlete DUI on the podcast.
Yeah, there's none other that come to mind.
Not enjoyable. We like to have fun on the podcast. That's not fun to talk about.
Yeah, that's a topic. I'm fine on not talking about that for a while. Wherever.
If it wasn't summer, we might not have had to discuss it, but just that it's summer and there's nothing else going on. It's like, oh, here we go. Hard to ignore this one. Obviously, it was a significant deal over the weekend. We'll move over to slants. We'll start with social. Thanks to everyone who sent questions in. Didn't get a ton, got blanked on the take line. Got a few questions on Twitter. First question comes from Nevada Born. Obviously, this could take us to a very dark place, speaking of not having fun. But do you think we will see some lawyers cover DUI fees as an NIL deal, especially at the Power 5 level where the stakes are higher?
It's a good question. Wouldn't surprise me at all. It's publicity for the lawyer. I have no idea how difficult a DUI case is in comparison to any other case or where that fits on the case difficulty spectrum, but I don't see why that wouldn't be why that wouldn't be the case. I mean, that would be in my mind for the lawyer, that would be an easy publicity stunt. Like that's the way I would see it. Is like you come in, you can defend these college athletes, but it also would be, I mean, I would be pretty sure that the schools themselves, although they don't want DUIs, it's not like they want these kids out drinking and driving, that they would,
I
not
think that's
shy
fair
away.
to say.
Yeah, that they would not shy away from, attorney offering legal help to, for the student athletes. So I would see it as a win for the lawyers, a win for the school, but a lose for society because every day we stray further from God.
We need to get Matt Winters back on the pod and kind of get his thoughts on this. I don't know what we should be surprised by with any of these upcoming NIL deals. It's the Wild Wild West right now. I'm sure we will see some professionals, regardless of industry, or some organizations try to manipulate student athletes who are in difficult situations. Obviously, Nate Cox in a tough one now. Is there an attorney in Reno who sees benefit in defending
Joey
Nate as he
Joey Gilbert.
what?
Joey Gilbert.
Joey Gilbert. How much exposure is there for attorneys? And I mean, you start going down a weird dark path when you start having these kinds of conversations. But I think it's inevitable. You're going to start seeing some of this. Now, I don't think student athletes are going to say, "Hey, you know what I should do? I should risk drinking driving because some attorney's going to cover my legal fees." Hopefully, we don't go down that path. But I think you're going to see some. There already are some ones that we probably aren't familiar with that are happening. And the further we get down this NIL path, you're going to start hearing more and more just what the hell is that? So no, this would not be surprising if you start seeing some of these sort of weird NIL partnerships. Keegan, our random question guy, asks, what happens first? Adam finishes all of his house projects or Nathan breaks 100?
Oh, that's a great one. Well, I would say you probably have the better odds because this house will never be finished. And that's straight from the well. So you got yourself a good amount of time. However, with how bad you are at golf, with how bad your swing is right now, with how unconfident you are standing over the ball with a club in your hand, I don't know if you'll ever break 100 again. So I would think that we would finish projects in this house and potentially leave this house before you were to ever break 100 again. So I am going to go with house projects.
Warriors making a big comeback, by the way, down 2 with 4 minutes left in the third.
Ooh, very intriguing.
First things first, the wording of this question, or Nathan breaks 100, implies that I've never broken 100. I've broken 100 several times.
Oh,
and then
several.
my game
Two.
swung. Oh, a swing fell apart. Absolutely several times. Several times. I was doing it consistently for a while.
Never saw it.
It wasn't by a lot. I'd shoot a 97. My best score ever was an 88 at Los Prados, which is like the easiest course ever for those who know Las Vegas. They do a thing in the summer, $20 for as much golf as you want to play. And that includes, I think, like 2 hot dogs and I think a few beers. They're basically paying you to come play golf there in the summer because it's so freaking hot.
No, we're in Reno. We're not familiar with Los Prados out in Las Vegas.
Oh, there are people who are listening who know Los Prados. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, that's the worst golf course in Las Vegas. No, we don't play that.
Probably, but just know that your boy shot an 88 there. That was a while ago. So one, I've broken 100. Game's fallen apart since. So, or Nathan breaks 100 again. And for everyone who owns a home, especially those who own a home and are married, you know this as well. Home projects are never done. Never. Never. Like one of the things we just got for the first time, we had a cleaning crew come and like professionally deep clean our house yesterday. And that was the first time we had that done. That was on Tara's wish list forever. And these people finally come over and like in the middle of it, I mean, I was gone most of the day. I came home and it was weird. They're cleaning the house and I just felt weird. So I had to leave. I'm like, I can't be here for this. This feels odd. So I come back and she already has all the list of all the things she wants to start doing when we've been talking about doing this forever. We got the new washer and dryer coming in this weekend. She wants to hang lights in the patio outside. She wants to get new chairs for the patio outside. She wants to redo the master bathroom. She wants to redo the laundry. And so it's like, what are we doing here? So you will
You're
never be done with
investing.
home projects. You will never be done with home projects. I will probably never break 100 again because I'm never going to golf again. So the answer is not neither. None of these are going to happen.
Well, to me, the house will feel like complete. Granted, actually, no, that's completely untrue because we are very light on furniture. But I was gonna say, like, once the backyard and all that stuff gets done, like, then the house will actually look like a finished house. It just won't have furniture.
I'm not going to house shame, but I'm going to house shame. We were in Reno last weekend for Dom's wedding. Saw the house in Dayton for the first time. Laundry room looks great. Guest bathroom looks great. Then you have like a dorm kitchen table,
Oh yeah.
and your living room has a freshman in college couch, and you have a 28-inch TV sitting on an ottoman, and that's your setup.
The funny
Right
thing
now.
is that like the black like end table thing that we
Mhm.
had we had a nice charcuterie board at the end of the night, but
We
where
did.
but that thing used to be where I put the TV on, and then when Isidora's friend was staying with us, she took that to put her laptop on it when she would work in work in the room, and then I've just never put the TV back on that, so that's why it's still on the ottoman.
Got work to do there.
Oh yeah.
And you got a huge backyard that you got to find a way to put grass in, and you got to level and all that stuff. I am not
Oh,
envious at all.
don't worry about that, dude. I am the one shout brother that's not afraid of some hard work. We know
Okay.
that the eldest, he struggles with that.
Okay. Last question comes from Fake Matt Mummy. Again, it's not surprising we get these questions. It's surprising it took so long. How effective are lambskin condoms?
Lamb?
Lambskin condoms.
I was not even aware that was a thing. I'm gonna guess
Fellas,
99.
if you tell her, hey, I got some lambskin condoms, they're 100% effective because no one's getting pregnant that night. She is out of there. I had
Yeah.
no idea these were real things either. I Googled it. Apparently, they're a very real thing. It's not actual lambskin. They use actual like lining from the bladder and intestines. And it's supposed to be like I don't know, but I was doing some research. By that I mean I clicked on one Google page from a what looked like an official website. They apparently are equally as effective in preventing pregnancy. They are not as effective in preventing STDs. Apparently, it's a natural thing, and they're a substitute for people who have like latex allergies, but they have pores. So the important stuff it blocks out, but like virus, whatever, I guess can get through the pores. So there you go. There's some sex ed in the Reno slant for you, courtesy Fake Matt Mummy. You weren't expecting that today, were you?
No, I was not. That threw me for a loop. I'm a little rattled on this Wednesday evening. I was just expecting to, come home, do the podcast, have a nice glass of wine, and
Oh no.
now I'm gonna be just Googling lambskin condoms the rest of the night, trying to figure these things out.
Apparently they're significantly more expensive as well.
I would hope so. Otherwise, we're just killing goats left and right. It better be. It better be more expensive.
We'll move over to weekend plans. What do you got this weekend?
What do you think I'm doing?
You're gonna say you're doing home projects. You're gonna bitch about the sprinkler system again. I don't know.
Well, our backyard plans got approved, so we actually are starting this weekend in the backyard, and that's gonna be nice. It's gonna start with cutting the crevices, trenches, however you want to put it, for the sprinkler lines, and then we're gonna start getting those things dialed in. And then other than that, I'm hoping to get around to golfing. The one thing, it's just been so windy out here. Like what I've been wanting to do is after work when I get home is just to do what I did with dad the other weekend, just hop on the 14th and play 14, 15, 16, 17. But it's been so flipping windy that it's like I'm going to lose way more balls and probably hit more houses than I want to with this crazy wind. So got to play it safe. Don't want to ruin the neighbor's evening with a nice Titleist one going straight through their dining room window. So
You're not playing titties. You're playing noodles. You're playing the Callaways.
I'm playing titties.
You're not playing titties. No, you're not.
I didn't buy them, but I found them. That's why I'm playing them.
Aces, by the way, in the middle of a 6-run fourth, up 6-0 on 3 hits. I don't know. How do you score 6 runs on 2 hits this inning? I don't know. He scores 6 runs on 2 hits.
A lot of walks, hit by pitches.
Where's the play-by-play on this thing?
All right, here we go, guy. Come on.
I had the game cast pulled up here. Okay, here we go. You want the play-by-play?
Yeah, let's hear it. I'm very intrigued, as you can tell.
All plays. Yes, you're locked in. All right. Looks like this was all. There was a grand slam. Grand slam in there. There was a triple. So pitching change at the top of the inning, I think. Triple, walk. Bases are juiced. Then you have a fielder's choice that scores a run. Then a walk to load him back up. Then a single scores a run. Then a grand slam.
So it was 3 hits that inning.
Yeah, it says they had. Oh, that 1 hit was this inning. So they had no. Yeah, 3 hits, 6 runs and 3 hits this inning.
Very nice. Go
That's
Aces.
Electric podcasting. I doubt you watched any of this last weekend. I had a buddy down here who's upset with me because I genuinely enjoy this, and I think it's a slept-on sporting event. But the NCAA baseball regionals are a ton of fun. ESPN does they call it the squeeze play. Like, it's basically red zone. It just flips around. There's host sites, just crazy stuff going on the whole time. Fun event to watch. Monday, there was games all day during the day, so I was watching most of the day during work. We got the super regionals this weekend. So I will certainly be watching some of the super regionals to determine who's going to go to Omaha next weekend. I knew this kind of, but I didn't really know. Now I can confirm. There is an arena league football team. I don't know which league it is that plays less than 10 minutes from my house here in Henderson. They play at the same venue where the Knights minor league team plays. It's this giant, I don't know if giant's the right word for it, but really nice new stadium. They just finished it last year. Haven't been to the stadium yet. So we're doing that Saturday night. I think my buddy hooked us up with some free tickets. We're getting that new washer and dryer installed Saturday afternoon. So that's going to be some reason for excitement. And we got no more weddings until September. So I'm thrilled we're not getting on a plane this weekend. I don't have to dry clean any more suits. Don't have to worry about forgetting stuff, packing. This last weekend in Reno, I waited till 30 minutes before I had to leave for the airport to pack. Classic me. I forgot contacts. I forgot. There's 2 other things I forgot.
Toothbrush?
Got my supplements. I forgot. And I forgot a razor to shave.
Nice.
My beard was a mess, and so I had to go. This was last time I was in Reno for Christmas. I forgot it and had to go to Walmart and buy one. I had to go back to Walmart last weekend and bought the exact same one. It's like, nice. I'm only going to use this once. I left it at mom and dad's. It's like $50. I'm like, this is because I don't do the manual razor. I do the electric one.
You bought an electric razor?
I didn't know. I can't.
You're going to use it like one time. Just buy a disposable.
Oh yeah, I left it in that bathroom downstairs, and it just said if I forget it again, now it's here. But if I used a razor, like a manual one, I didn't know how my neck, the skin would respond to it. Like, the last thing I need to do is just have a broken out neck at this wedding. So
yeah,
they're $50 down the drain.
What's the arena football team name? The Henderson Hogs or something?
I'm pretty sure they're the Hawks.
Henderson Hawks, yeah.
I'm gonna type it Henderson Arena Football.
Hogs, I think, would be better.
They're the Vegas Nighthawks.
The Vegas Nighthawks. That's just a combination.
The Vegas Nighthawks.
Couple different.
And if they aren't sponsoring the podcast next week, I'm going to be furious. Who are they playing?
Oh my
gosh.
Some
Vegas Nighthawks here. Oh, they suck. They're 4-7. They're 1-4 at home. They got no home field.
Oh my gosh, just a disaster of a season for the Nighthawks. I don't know what this
league is. They play like the Green Bay Blizzard, the Northern Arizona Wranglers, the Arizona Rattlers. Arizona Rattlers sounds familiar. The Tucson Sugar Skulls.
What?
That's a name. They lost to the North Arizona Wranglers at home last month, 45-18. How do you score 18 points in an arena football game?
They kick
The
field
last
goals.
two the last 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks, they've scored 21 points versus the Duke City Gladiators and the Frisco Fighters. They suck.
Pretty fitting. Team from Vegas. What do you expect?
They're playing the San Diego Strike Force on Saturday. They played the San Diego Strike Force 3 weeks ago and put up a 68 burger.
Ooh.
So feeling pretty good about a dub here on Saturday.
Yeah, that's actually not bad. What's the line?
I gotta find
You got to see if you can bet on this
what
game.
league is this in? There's standings page. Yeah,
I have
there's
never heard of any of these teams that you're talking about.
the IFL.
International Football League Classic, only in the United
There's
States.
there's two conferences. There's the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. And Vegas is in 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth place of 7 teams in the Western Conference. They're ahead of 2 teams, one of them being the San Diego Strike Force, who I'm going to see on. So this is like the toilet bowl I'm going to on Saturday.
Yeah, quite literally. You're watching a Browns Bengals Thursday night matchup 2017.
Hey, Bengals went to Super Bowl last year. I don't think we can make that joke
2017.
anymore.
I said 2017.
Oh, 2017. 2017.
Yeah.
How much do you think a beer is going to cost at this game?
Oh man. I'm gonna say for like a draft Bud or Coors Light, like one of those like 12-ounce plastic cups or whatever. I'm gonna say that's gonna ring
I
you.
bet you they only sell the big ones.
Yeah, or they probably sell like the bottled ones, those aluminum bullet things.
Yeah.
How much do those normally cost down in Vegas? Like at a T-Mobile game?
The Knights only sell the big ones. So it's like, I don't know if they're 18 ounces, like the tall boys
Yeah,
in the aluminum cans. At Knights games, I want to say those are $15.
$15. Okay, I will say a beer is gonna ring you $7.
Oh, it's gonna be more than that. I'm
Oh,
gonna
no
say a
way.
beer, even for the toilet bowl of the IFL Western Conference. I'm gonna say it's gonna cost still $13 a beer.
Oh my gosh, that is money well spent, if you ask me, my friend.
You're gonna pay
Way
me to drink beers. I might as well.
way better than throwing that into VTI and letting that roll for 40 years.
I do that with Tara sometimes when she wants to buy something stupid. I'm like, hey, this $40 compounding annually at 8% is going to be $483 when we're ready to retire. You sure you want to buy this shirt?
Yeah, how's that
And
work
she
for
loves
you?
it every time. Loves it every time.
Yeah. I've stopped doing it because Isadora starts pulling knives out of the drawer when I start bringing that up, so I got to be careful.
We'll get out of here with random Reno. What'd you find?
Founded in 1874, the University of Nevada, Reno was established as a Nevada's land grant institution under the Morrill Act of 1862. Which president signed this into law?
President of the university
President
or of the
United
country?
States.
Of
Yeah.
the Moral Act?
Yeah, the Morrill Act.
What's that?
I'm assuming that's the act that granted Nevada the land grant institution.
What's that mean?
Well, from my understanding is that when
I
they were like,
love it. You have no idea. You're shooting from the hip. I'm curious.
no, from my understanding is when they were starting to settle in the West, especially in Nevada, that the government basically said you can take whatever piece of land you want, but you have to like tend to it. You have to like plant crops or build things or whatever. And if you meet their regulations, then you get to keep this tract of land. That's from my understanding. That's like we talked about the other week out in Sun Valley, all those people that, just got a bunch of trailers all over the place. They just plotted there and the government gave it to them. But that's not the point. The point is what president signed it into law.
According to Wikipedia, the Moral Land Grant Acts are the United States statutes that allowed for the creation of land grant colleges in the U.S. states using the proceeds from sales of federally owned land, often obtained from indigenous tribes through treaty, cession, or seizure. So there you go. It's problematic, number one.
There you
way
go.
to go.
Cancel the university. Shut it down.
What was the purpose of the Land Grant Act of 1862? First proposed when Morrill was serving in the House of Representatives, the Morrill Land Grant College Act of 1862 set aside federal lands to create colleges to, quote, benefit the agricultural and mechanical arts. The president signed the bill into law on July 2nd, 1862. It doesn't say who the president was. Oh, man, I have no idea.
It's Abraham Lincoln, you clown.
Really?
Yes. The
Dogmatic.
Civil War started in 1864, I believe.
Was it?
Or it ended in 1864. Can never remember if it started or ended. Well, it obviously ended at one point.
61 to 65.
So it was right in the middle of the Civil War.
Yeah, it was.
Interesting.
Lake Tahoe.
Oh my God.
Lake Tahoe and Reno Tahoe stats my favorite. Celtics up 9 with 11 minutes left in the fourth, and they just turned it over. And a fast. Oh no!
Beautiful
Tatum's gonna
segue.
dunk in his eye. Missed a fast break layup. And Warriors going the other way. Jordan Poole not doing anything this game. I feel like there's some live play-by-play. Shimmy shake into the paint. Nope. Turnover. Nope. Layup in your eye. Nice. Lake Tahoe is the second deepest lake in the U.S. What's the deepest?
Ooh. Is it one of the Great Lakes?
No.
Is it Salt Lake?
No.
Is it Crater Lake?
It is Crater Lake.
Haha, I knew it. First guess. Very nice on my part.
How deep is Great Salt Lake?
The Great Salt Lake? Oh my gosh, I don't even know how deep Tahoe is. Salt Lake. Frick, I have no clue. I don't, because I can't compare it against Tahoe. So the ceiling could be quite high. I could be way off. I'm gonna say because it's a salt lake, it's gonna be a little flatter. 700 feet.
33 feet is the deepest point
Of the Great Salt Lake?
Yep.
Wow, that's not so great in my mind.
Not
anymore.
that great.
That's a flat salt lake. It's a stupid salt lake.
Shallow salt lake is what it is.
Yeah, very shallow.
I bet you
33 feet. That's crazy.
Either.
No way. They're great.
Let's see here. How deep are each of the Great Lakes? Let's see. Yeah, not that deep. Lake Erie is 62 feet.
What?
This is average depth.
Oh, I was like, there's no way.
Lake Michigan's 280 feet. Lake Huron's 195 feet. Lake Superior is 483 feet.
Some weak lakes.
Unimpressive, which makes Tahoe even more impressive. Tahoe is, well, actually, I'll do this. No context. How deep is Crater Lake?
Oh my gosh. What did I get? I think I guessed like 700 feet. Oh,
Crater
no,
Lake,
I guess that was the guess for Salt Lake. I'll bump it up to 900.
Crater Lake is 1,949 feet deep at its deepest point.
That's pretty deep. Not going to lie.
Tahoe is 1,645 feet deep at its deepest point.
They need to get rid of the Great Lakes, remove the Great, give that to Crater. The Great Crater Lake. That's what it needs to be.
I think the way you generally gauge depth of a lake, just is it deep or not, is the landscape next to it. So like the Great Salt Lake is in the middle of kind of nothing, so it's going to be flatter. It's the same thing with like Lake Mead out here in Vegas. Not deep because it's very horizontal out there. Tahoe, middle of mountains. The deepest point of Tahoe is Crystal Bay. Not Emerald Bay, but Crystal Bay, right off Incline Village, where it's just mountain coming straight in. Not a lot of beach or flat area right there because Incline is generally on the hill. That's the deepest point. You learned something today.
Didn't know you were an ocean. Didn't know you were an oceanographer.
I don't think that's what it is.
Lakeographer.
You learned about some lakeography, and you learned about lambskin condoms. It's summer, baby. This is where we are.
Jesus, par for the course.
And that is our show this week. Thank you to all of you who listen to this podcast so you can stay current on everything Nevada. If you are not already, please make sure you're subscribed to the podcast and that you follow The Reno Slant on Twitter and Instagram at The Reno Slant. You can also check us out online at therenoslant.com. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Have a great, great weekend, you guys.
Go Pack.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Reno Slant, the weekly Nevada sports podcast. Until next week. And we're still not talking about that one basketball coach who's not here anymore.